Hello everybody, welcome back to another what I read video. I'm very excited. Today we're going over the 5 books that I read in the month of November, and I'm very happy. I feel like this is such a weird assortment of books, but at the same time, like, I have lots of feelings about each and every single one of them. So we'll go over those, and then I'll talk about what I plan to read in December, which I'm like really excited. I feel like my December TBR makes me so happy. So let's just dive into what I read in November. So first things first, this was the book club that I'm in. The pick for the month, this is The Perfect Marriage. This is by Geneva Rose. So this is a thriller, and I initially went into this having not known anything about it other than what I read on the back. I haven't seen anyone really talk about this. I just had really no prior knowledge, like no kind of like thoughts already going into the book. I just went in completely blind, which I kind of loved. So this book is about a couple. The names are, geez, what even are their names? It's been so long since I read this book. About Sarah and Adam. So Sarah is like this big time lawyer, like makes a ton of money, is super awesome, working, whatever, wife. And Adam is like a struggling writer, and you know, he's trying to make ends meet, but they're married and they've been together for a really long time. And you kind of find out very quickly on, because this happens very early on, that Adam kind of retreats to their vacation home, which is like a cabin, and he has a mistress. So the mistress dies brutally and Adam gets blamed for it. So it's so interesting because Sarah finds out, obviously, and she becomes his lawyer. So like, she finds out that he has a mistress, he's been cheating on her, and then is like, okay, I'm gonna defend you, all within the span of like 10 minutes, which is so bizarre to me, but I guess it makes sense. So I love the way the author wrote this. I think I gave this 4.75. It's incredibly good. It's a very heavy thriller book, and the twist at the end really shocked me. There is a movie that this reminds me of. I don't even want to say the name of the movie because that would completely spoil this book for you, but there is a movie that this book reminds me of so much. Like, when I got to the end, I was shook. I think the character development in this book is really good because you go from like hating people to rooting for them, and then hating them again, and then being confused, and it's just all around a really great time. I feel like if you're into thrillers and you have not checked this book out yet, I definitely suggest it. And if you have checked it out, DM me and we can talk about the movie it reminds you of, because I don't even want to put it in the comments. I don't want anyone to be spoiled at all by this, because like, this is a good one, and I think the twist is something that needs to happen. Like, it has to happen to you. You have to experience the twist. So I really did enjoy this one, and I definitely think I'm going to check out more from this author. The next book I read this month, my big boy for the month, is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the ACOTAR series. I do want to note something so random about these books. I love these paperbacks. So normally with paperbacks, I'm like really particular about the way I hold them because I don't want to get any creases in the spine. These, you can just kind of let flop and they don't have a crease. And these are big boys. So like, thank you for that, whoever designed this book. So like I said, this is the 3rd book in the ACOTAR series, A Court of Wings and Ruin. This book is basically just continuing to follow the lives of Feyre and Prythian. There's really not much I can say. If you haven't really read the series, I don't want to spoil anything. I will say this was probably my least favorite of the 3 that I read so far. However, I was just happy to be there. I was just happy to be in the lives of these characters. I was happy to be following them in the setting that was happening. It just like, it was so hard to explain. So to me, I feel like there is no like romance subplot in ACOTAR. It's very much so fantasy romance. Like, it's a fantasy romance. So this one didn't really like have a ton of the romance, and I was a little sad by that. But I still, like I said, I loved being in this world. I just love these characters so much. Even the characters you're supposed to hate, I'm just happy to be hanging out with them. I'm like, I'm just happy to be here. So I really loved this. I think I gave it 4 stars. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really wanted to mention, but yeah, I was just happy to be here, happy to be in this setting, and I don't want this series to end. I really love this. So that was A Court of Wings and Ruin. I read my book of the month pick. If you're not signed up for book of the month, you absolutely should be. I was just explaining this to Brian. I'm not sponsored by them, but the price for one book a month is so incredibly reasonable. A new hardbound book or hardback book is usually like $26 to $30, and you get it for like 15 bucks a month, and your first month you get it for $9.99. It's kind of a steal. Their selections are always top tier. I actually picked 2 books for December. I don't have them yet, but I'll talk about them in a minute. I just think book of the month is completely worth it, especially as someone who likes to read and is really interested in new releases. I think it's worth the money. Sorry if the angle changed. I just had to change the battery on my camera. So anyway, with all that being said, my November pick was The Wilder Women, which is by Ruth Emmy Lang. This is a magical realism book, which is so different than what I would normally pick, but the plot and like I guess like the characters kind of resonated with me when I read all of the different descriptions. So The Wilder Women is about 2 sisters, and basically I'm sorry. First of all, the setting's great because it's based out of Texas, and like for like 5 seconds they're in Austin, and then they're in San Antonio for like 5 seconds, and then they travel. But it was just interesting to me because I'm from Austin, or I live in Austin. So it's about 2 sisters, and they both have some sort of like magical power, but it doesn't feel weird. Like it doesn't feel like a fantasy. It just feels like they're set with just like little psychic abilities. So the older sister can see the future, just like glimpses of it, like little bits. And then the younger sister has what she calls echoes, where she can't read people's minds necessarily, but she can sort of go to a place and kind of feel people's memories that were like happening there. It's very interesting. So their mom just sort of up and leaves them, which was very strange, about, I would say like in this book, maybe like 5 years ago. And the younger sister was too young to, she wasn't considered an adult, so she was fostered. And then the older sister was like 18, so she just had to kind of figure out her life. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. So they end up becoming separated, kind of, but they still sort of keep in contact. But there's this situation, they're at like a party, I would say like it's her sister's graduation party, the younger sister, and she gets this echo and she's like, Mom is calling to us. And they both find that to be weird, but then they go on this like big expedition to find her, and they kind of use their abilities and they meet all of these people along the way. And okay, so I think I gave this 3 stars. I liked the buildup of this book. I liked all of the characters you meet. I liked the sister relationship. I felt like it was really sweet. There was a lot of really interesting things that happened. And like I said, I really enjoyed all the side characters. What I did not like about this book was I felt like the ending was weird. It just didn't make any sense. I felt as though the author had an ending in mind and really rushed it. And so as a reader, I was just like, I don't understand any of this. Like none of this really adds up to anything that like the whole story was alluding to or like making. Does that make sense? It just, the ending fell really flat for me, and I really didn't enjoy the end. Although the entire like 75% of this book was fantastic, the end just really didn't do it for me. So unfortunately, I didn't really love this book, but was I happy to have read it? I guess. The next book I read, I'm so stoked about. So I have been wanting to start this series. I'm like always in the middle of series, as I really need to start finishing some, but I've been wanting to start this series for such a long time. This is a YA sort of, I guess I would say like a YA mystery, and it's called The Inheritance Games. It's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There's 3 of them, so it's a trilogy. I think the newest one just came out like a couple of months ago. First and foremost, love the cover of this. Second of all, this was such a good time. I gave this 5 stars because I had so much fun reading this. So this is about a girl named Avery, and she is living with her sister. I feel like I had a lot of sister relationships because the next book I read was also like 2 sisters. Strange. And then Court of Wings and Ruin has sisters too. Wild. Anyway, so she lives with her sister. They're like struggling for money. but they're getting by, whatever. And all of a sudden she basically finds out that this old man dies, and he leaves his entire estate and all of his money, like billions and billions and billions of dollars, to her. And she doesn't understand why. His whole family is like, who are you? What do you mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. What did you do to him? Like, are you holding a grudge over him? It's a very Knives Out situation, if you've ever seen that movie, which is like such a great movie. And she is like, I don't know this man. I don't know why he left me all this money, but she inherits it. So it's her, and then he has 4 grandsons that were like supposed to inherit this money. So it's very interesting because he's one of those people that loves puzzles. So he left a lot of riddles and puzzles for these people, and he kind of wants Avery and the 4 grandsons to kind of figure out why he left Avery that money. So the whole time you're also trying to figure it out, and it's amazing. There's a romance subplot. It was, I don't even know how to put into words how fun this was, to be able to kind of follow along with Avery and be like, what is happening? I don't understand either, but like, your life seems dope now. But this was really fun. I'm really excited to read the next one. You do at the end get like a really cool cliffhanger, which I really liked. So yeah, I really liked this one. I feel like today I just don't feel like I understand how to talk about books. Words aren't coming to me the way they normally do, and I'm just like, yeah, I liked it, it was great. But I gave it 5 stars. It was awesome. I cannot wait to read the next one. And then the last book that I read in November, another 5-star. I just have been wanting to read this one for such a long time. This is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I have only read from Emily Henry People We Meet on Vacation. I read that earlier this year, and that was one of my favorite romance books. And so I knew I needed to read this, and I need to read Beach Read. And I was waiting to read Beach Read until like the summer, but I think I might read it like March, because she has another book coming out soon, and I'm like, I really want to read it. So this is Book Lovers. 5 stars. This book was so good. I feel like if you've not read an Emily Henry book and you enjoy romance, girl, get on it. Like, seriously, get on it, because it is so good. So this is about Nora, which is interesting because the Wilder women, the mom's name is Nora, which is interesting. So this is about Nora. She is a literary agent, and she is the agent in charge of this girl who wrote this like best-selling book about this cute little small town, like very Hallmark movie-esque, where like, you know, like the main actress is a big city woman and goes to the small town and falls in love with like a tree farmer. So her sister, the agent's sister, is obsessed with that book, and she's like, we should go on a trip to the small town that this was based off of. So she basically gets her like businesswoman, city woman, workaholic sister to go on this like 3-week vacation to this small town. And while she's there, she runs into kind of, I would say, like her nemesis, who's an editor, and enemies to lovers. That's all. It's not even a spoiler. And like the way that it happens is always so good, because there's always like a conflict, there's always a resolution, and then it's like, oh wait, there's another conflict, and it's just like, I can't. And then the ending of this book was so sweet. Like, you thought it was gonna end one way and then it ends another way, and it's just like, it was so good. So I really liked Book Lovers. I liked People We Meet on Vacation too. I honestly can't compare them because I didn't read them like back to back, but I love them both so much. I feel like if you're gonna pick up one, just pick up one. They're so good. So 5 stars. This was amazing. Alrighty, and then last but not least, let's talk about my December TBR. So I wanted to read more like holiday themed books in December, as does probably everybody, but that's just what I wanted to do. So I haven't even started, like, I'm not even in the middle of a book right now. I just put my bookmark in the first page of the book I plan to start next, and I haven't even read it yet. So I'm excited. So the first one I have is actually my book club's pick of the month. This is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. Y'all know Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren is such a top tier romance. I'm very excited to give this one a go. Honestly, I don't really know anything about it. It basically just says it's kind of like a sci-fi thing where like this girl's on a trip for Christmas in Utah, and like something happens and she's like in a time loop, and she's like reliving things over and over again. I don't know. I think it'll be fun and cute. I'm on literally page 1. So I'm excited to give this one a try. And I do plan to start this one like tonight. So very excited for this one. Oh, also I have my 2 book of the month picks, which I'm very happy about. The first one is the like Christmassy romance one. Hold on, I'll pull it up. I think it's called, what's it called? Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran. Super cute. And then I picked a thriller, which I know is not very like Christmas spirit of me, but it just sounded so good. It's called All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I can't wait to read that one as well. I love a good thriller, so I just kind of like tossed it in there because I thought it sounded good. Another Christmassy one that I really want to read is called Just Like Magic. I love this cover. This is by Sarah Hogel, and this one just sounds so interesting to me. I don't normally like to read the back of books to you guys because I feel like, you know, y'all can read these, but listen to this, okay? So this is about Betty. She once knew the comfort of luxury. She has designer purses, she has a dream home in Hawaii, but then she lost all of her money, and so she's obsessed with her public image. So she like is still pretending on social media that she has all of this money still, but she's broke. She's squatting in Colorado. No one knows, like not even her family knows. And then it says, Christmas, with its pressure to meet familial expectations, is looming when Betty plays a vinyl record of All I Want for Christmas Is You backwards and accidentally conjures up Paul, the holiday spirit, in the form of a charming and handsome, if offbeat man. It basically sounds like she summons a Christmas demon. I hope that's what it is, because that sounds amazing. It's romance though, so it's going to be super cute, and I'm very excited for this one. So, Just Like Magic. And then this one is not Christmassy at all, but it gives me kind of Christmassy vibes, and I'm still stuck in Prithian. So I have A Court of Frost and Starlight. Why is this one so skinny? This is like 200 pages. Why is it so small? Like 700, 200? What's happening in this book? I need to know. So I'm going to continue the ACOTAR series and read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. And then this book I would like to read in December, but if for some reason it doesn't make it in December, I'm going to read this one last. It's going to go into January, and I think that's okay because it's called This Time Next Year, and this is by Sophie Cousins, maybe. I love this. So this is kind of about New Year's, so I thought, again, this would be good for December, but like worst case, I can read it in January. So it's about Minnie Cooper. Her birthday is on New Year's, and wait, what? She knows two things with certainty: that her New Year's birthday is unlucky and that it's all because of Quinn Hamilton, a man she's never met. Their mothers gave birth to them at the same hospital just after midnight on New Year's Day, but Quinn, the guy, was given the cash prize for being the first baby born in London in 1990, and the name Minnie was meant to have as well. So each of her birthdays is a disaster, it says, and then she unexpectedly runs into him on their mutual 30th birthday. And it's a romance, so clearly something's gonna happen. This time next year, I thought it would be cute as well. So that's my December TBR plus my book of the months. Hopefully I can get through them. I mean, Court of Frost and Starlight is 200 pages. I'm sure I will fly through that. But that is everything for this book video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.